Mabuhay everybody! My name is Adrian. Welcome back to myconsultant.ca. This week, we're going to be talking about Afghan and Ukraine mental health in Canada, 15,000 Afghan refugees coming to Canada, refugee businesses, and we're going to take a special interview run by Sarah. On June 20th, Canada announced a contribution agreement with Kids Help Phone to provide counseling services for Afghan and Ukrainian children who have arrived in Canada. Languages that are going to be provided are Dari, Pashto, Ukrainian, and Russian. These services are being provided in response to the urgent need of mental health care by youth fleeing conflicts in their home countries. This funding is a part of a larger $2 million investment that will allow Kids Help Phone to gradually expand its professional phone counseling services. There are more than 500 service provider organizations across Canada that are being funded by the RCIC to deliver settlement services to permanent residences. Many of these organizations offer support directly to youth, which include help during and after school, recreational activities, leadership and mentorship programs, and help developing skills and employment. On June 10th, Canada reached a milestone of 15,000 Afghan refugees arriving in Canada. The Special Immigration Measures Program has enabled 7,000 Afghans and their families to arrive in Canada. The latest newcomers arrived in Toronto on June 8th on a charter flight with approximately 300 Afghan nationals on board as a part of Canada's refugee program. The humanitarian program focuses on resettling Afghan nationals, which includes women leaders, human rights defenders, persecuted religious and ethnic minorities, LGBTQ+ individuals, and journalists. The Reinvest program. Often on the show, we talk about how people get to Canada, but we don't often talk about what people do when they get to Canada. The Reinvest program is a specially designed business program that was made by refugees for refugees. On June 19th, 5 newcomers to Canada were able to pitch it to investors on Monday as a part of a mentorship program that was designed to help startups founded by refugees. The pitch was set up to help address professional barriers that many refugees can face. Reinvest also looks to help lessen the shortage of skilled trade workers in the province of Ontario in Canada. This is extremely helpful for refugees and immigrants because we're looking for skilled trade workers. The Reinvest program is an educational program that connects refugees to investors who provide financial support and mentorship to startups across Ontario. A startup is a newly established business that is usually comprised of a small group of professionals and specialists. The Reinvest program is a joint venture between Angel Investors Ontario and Jumpstart Refugee Talent, which is a refugee-led nonprofit organization that was created to support refugees in Canada. One example of a success story from the Reinvest program is one Amir Ma'amari, an entrepreneur who came with his family from Syria in 2016. He won $20,000 at the pitch for his business plan, and instead of wearing a suit, Ma'amari stood in front of the judges and investors wearing an orange construction vest. He did this to set an example. He wanted to ensure that the people who work at construction sites, which is his main priority and his main customer base, were properly represented. His company, called Done Right Inc., works to address the shortage of construction workers by offering a service that helps newly arrived people to understand how the Canadian construction industry works. His goal is to ensure refugees can quickly enter the workforce with knowledge, skills, and language that they need in order to be helpful members of the workforce. During Ma'amari's speech, he explained that in the future he plans to set up an academy that provides newcomers who are interested in construction with industry-specific English classes, on-site and online job training, and connections with jobs opportunities.
Welcome to the interview segment of the show where we talk to a registered Canadian immigration consultant, or RCIC, about their practice, their specializations in the field, their personal immigration stories, and advice that they have for our viewers who are looking to come to Canada. Let's get started. Hi, Bohdana. Welcome to the show. It's lovely to have you. Could you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
My name is Bohdana Stepanenko-Lypovyk. I'm located in Edmonton, Alberta, and work with a company named Maple Land Immigration Services. So basically located in the Jasper Avenue in downtown Edmonton. I practice a lot of different immigration aspects, and including temporary residency, permanent residency, as well as family sponsorship, and also very interested in the more complicated files like humanitarian compassion on grounds, refugee files, and business immigration.
So you deal with a variety of cases then. Did coming to Canada and your own immigration story influence you to become an immigration consultant?
So my immigration experience was pretty interesting because I never really wanted to immigrate to Canada to start with. I was born in Ukraine, and I completed education there. I completed a PhD degree in economics and finance. I was very interested to proceed with my academic work, but at some point I went to Egypt and met my husband, who is also Ukrainian but visited Ukraine on vacation. He already worked at the time in Canada. So we met and we got married, and basically I came to Canada as a spouse of a skilled worker at the time, and we finalized our PR application together. And this is where my immigration pathway started.
Wow, so you were on a completely different path then. So how did you get into the field of immigration consulting?
So when I came to Canada, I directly flew to Edmonton because my husband was already working there and he had a job and accommodation. When I came, I started to think about what job I can do in my life and what I would be interested in. And right away I was engaged in the Ukrainian community, supporting all of the Ukrainians that came up to Alberta to work, to study, or for a good life, for permanent residency. And because a lot of people Ukrainians were from the low or medium skilled level positions, they were really afraid to do their documents, and they were really not fluent with English, and they needed just some support and help with applications. So as a part of the community work, I started to help people to fill out the immigration forms and helping out them out to submit the forms. And with some kind of time, I received more and more inquiries and more questions about what should I do in this case and what should I do in that case. And at that time I understood that I'm lacking a lot of knowledge in immigration practice to help all of the peoples, and also there is a license component. So as soon as people started to ask me how much I should pay you, and I said no, it can't be I should to have a license to charge you. So this is pro bono, but in Ukrainian culture it's a little bit not welcoming if you refuse to accept money. So at some point I understand that I should do that license. And when I was pregnant with my second child, I completed the training and did the exam and got my license in 2017. And this is where my immigration started. And basically, while I was familiar with the system since 2017, I was able to finalize a lot of cases, very interesting, very complex, and very challenging, with a huge success rate. And I'm happy to help, and I'm happy to support Ukrainians and any other nationals requiring help in immigration matters.
That's all for today. Thanks for joining us this week. Be sure to click the bell icon and subscribe to the myconsultant.ca channel. If you want to learn more about the content we covered, be sure to visit myconsultant.ca, where you can visit and speak to a professional citizenship and immigration consultant. I'm Adrienne Quijano, and we'll see you next week. Bye!